Welcome in, everybody. We are here for week 4 of the Blue Otter Diamond League. And what a season it's shaping up to be. Got two exciting teams going at it today. Team Lotus versus ISU G&E Diamond. My name is Yanni. I am joined here by Gopherino. And Gopher, well, Lotus is 3-0 and ISU is not.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. We'll see if the fortunes change tonight, however, because on paper, a lot of us think these two teams are at least kind of close-ish. There's definitely a chance here of a ISU Diamond win tonight. Just depends if the cards fall correctly in their laps. However, fan phase is over. A lot of meta picks being taken off the board. We'll see what the first lock-in is here for ISU. We have been seeing some new picks coming up, especially the Kaisa. And
Yeah, that's been a popular mid lane choice recently in pro play, which is honestly kind of crazy. And I'm not sure how that happened. Looks like ISU they've locked in that Vagar as their first one.
and the Vigar, not the most blindable champion. Typically, when we see the Vigar, it is into specific matchups. Like you're able to cage in the Azir, you have the range advantage over X champion. That in the cage is just such an effective tool to dissuade any sort of like champions that are like, you know what, I'm gonna run at you really fast, and then you're like, we send out being hovered by Lotus, a very potent jungler right now. We did see the Rek'Sai counterpick come out though in yesterday's CLG FlyQuest game.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I was trying to remember if it was FlyQuest or Immortals, but we did see that Rek'Sai come out if ISU wants to try that. The Varus being locked in, I know people have been looking more and more towards the Varus. Both builds, the on-hit attack speed oriented one and the AD caster one, have been seeing some success. And now with some of the meta AD carries like the Jinx, like the Aphelios, like the Zeri all being nerfed, the Varus is starting to pop up a little bit more.
Yep. And you know what? It's a pretty solid pick, but it lacks one big thing: mobility. And Nautilus, the pick, looking to punish that. They're going to follow it up with Samira as well on the side as ISU GE. Vagar Nautilus against the Varus. It seems like Alistair might have a bit of a difficult time.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it here, Yanni. Thankfully, as the Varus, you do have very natural long range, and the Renata actually being locked in here to go with the Varus, who's I don't remember the ulti name because whenever a new champion comes out, you have to like learn
Oh,
all their names. It's the
the,
his Q
the
is handshake.
yeah, and the ultimate is yeah, you kill your teammates. I don't know what it's
Yeah,
called, but you definitely
it's
kill
like
your
a
teammates.
business name. Either way, though, it's a really effective tool to deal with just all-in dive. So when when the Samira jump on top of you as this Renata, Dunzi can just pop that ultimate and let them just kind of go to town on each other because the Varus for Alistair gonna be able to just kind of sit at range, not have to eat up that giant you know, kill your teammates sort of ultimate there. We're on to second phase here though, with the top laner already being taken off the board. Solo laner is definitely gonna be some prime candidates for the chopping block.
Hostile Takeover, by the way, is the ability name that you are looking
That's
for.
it, yeah.
Yeah. Corki is going to be the ban here, and that has been a champion that Babs has enjoyed a lot of success on. So ISU, they have definitely done their homework. Lotus, I mean, I'm sure they weren't expecting the first pick Vagar to come out. There's a different mid laner for ISU today. It's going to be Tortwig instead of the normal Scod. So,
Or
you know,
Twig.
yeah, when there's swaps that happen, it makes it very hard to figure out what you're going to do in the first half of the ban phase. The second half of the ban phase, though, it looks like Lotus is keyed in on what they want to do. They've gotten rid of that Camille, as you mentioned. They're also going to take care of that Darius. Victor, the final ban for ISU, so trying to pinch out the pool of Babs here.
Really pinch on Babs here. Lotus, I'm expecting them to lock in Babs' pick here because you already know what Tortwig is going to be playing. It's that Vigar. You don't have to worry about Vigar's support because you already see the Nautilus, unless we see some insane like flexing potential here, but then that'd be like, okay, yeah. But it's going to be the Cassiopeia here, interestingly enough, for the player Babs. Yeah, I almost said the Blabs. That was their username. But Cassiopeia will be able to mow through that Vigar. The biggest issue is that the Cassiopeia kind of has to get into cage range in order to damage the Vigar, which can be a bit of a mild issue.
Right, you don't want to, accidentally turn around, get yourself stunned, and get bursted out, as we know Vagar, the quintessential burst mage in League of Legends by all accounts. ISU, they're going to pick up a Poppy here, so, I mean, you can set up a cage, and if you don't get stunned by it, you'll be pushed right into it. And the team composition for ISU coming together pretty nicely here. They got two super tanks essentially in the form of Nautilus and Poppy. A big team fighter in Samira and a champion that does so much magic damage, has so much pick potential. And Vagar, I can't imagine what else that you would put in this comp to put the cherry on top, and they opt in for the set.
So ISU does have a very, very low range composition here, Yanni, because you have the triple melee, you have the Samira who has very, very poor range to say the least, and then the Vigar is kind of mid range at best. We see the Vayne being hovered here for Lotus, potentially going to 3 losing lanes in that top lane. Can do fairly well against the set. The biggest thing you have to worry about as the Vayne top, if it is a Vayne top, it's instead going to be the Garen. So the Garen going into the set here, Garen, of course, going to be that big old tanky boy. It's going to come down to when you use your Decisive Strike Q to silence this set for Bleed and Feed, because not having to eat that Facebreaker, not having to eat that Haymaker will be pretty damn huge for trades here.
Another big thing about the Garen is that, I mean, he just absolutely punishes any little mistake made and can really get out of control. And we saw 3 losing lanes just kind of go wild on Garen, I believe sometime last week. And, that champion's really scary. I never want any part of that champion when I'm playing my games. But in the end, the champions do need to fit the compositions, and it looks like Lotus isn't quite sure what they want to do. I'm having mixed feelings about their composition.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what they're trying to do too. Um, because you have this very close range bruiser in the Garen, you have this Lee Sin who's very heavy in skirmishing, definitely a powerful early game duo, and you should at least have top side in a favorable state. Bot side, I don't know how well the Varus and Renata can really push in against the Samira Nautilus here, because as the Lee Sin, you do want some prio in your lanes so you can go for those ballsy invades, so you can go for those tricky gank paths. And my biggest question here, Yanni, is will this Lee Sin 4 drops be able to get those lane states that the Lee Sin does really want and go for those ganks, make those plays, and get that early lead that the Lee Sin does always cherish so much?
Well, they are going to have a hard time interacting with Riddy if it is a Poppy jungle. I'm kind of leaning that way, and it looks like it is going to be a Poppy jungle. It looks like Riddy has locked that in on the other side of things. So it is going to be difficult for Lee Sin to try to get in. Poppy's going to put up her walls. Lee Sin's going to get bounced out. It does mean that there are opportunity. It will make it hard for Lee Sin to counter gank if Poppy's already there and hasn't burnt all of her abilities yet. Um, but looking at the lanes, I do think the lanes have a lot of potential here for victory. Varus Renata seems like he can pump out a fair amount of damage. He can really make Nautilus's life a living hell, pun intended. Um, and in the top lane, these two guys are going to go at it. Just two guys being dudes up there doing a bunch of damage to each other. And if Set starts pushing into Garen, it should allow drops a little bit of wiggle room to be able to make a gank happen up there.
So, looking at the incline draft right now for Lotus,
Whoa,
Alistair has the
whoa,
Cassiopeia and Babs has the Varus. So, we might
whoa.
be seeing the Cassiopeia bot here. The poison grounding effect can be really potent against the Nautilus Samir. However, with that insanely low base armor that the Cassiopeia does have here, Alistair has to be so careful on their toes here, Yanni, because one misstep, you eat that hook, then all of a sudden,
It's over.
Hotels is falling on up, and next thing you know, you're kind of a little bit dead. Um, though Babs in the mid lane should at least have a pretty decent range advantage over that Vigar of Tortwig. Curious to see how that does shape up though, because I haven't seen Varus mid in I think forever, really.
Yeah, it's certainly a pretty rare pick. I do kind of there's certain reasons why I like the swap because once Varus hits level 6, you're going to have easier gank potential in the mid lane than you would with Cassiopeia because Cassiopeia has to walk up a little bit more whereas Varus can just fling his ultimate out, catch out the Veigar, and it's a done deal. But as you said, this bot lane now is going to get a little bit more contentious. Renata Glask is not a tanky champion, and obviously neither is Cassiopeia. And if Nautilus lands a hook onto her, like you mentioned, he's got a brand new pair of snakeskin boots all of a sudden. So Alistair and Dunzi, they've shown themselves to be one of the best bot lanes in the league so far. They're just going to probably have to play a little bit more careful in the early game. Because, if a Samira does get kills, you could be in danger of falling very far behind.
Mhm. Thankfully, Alistair and Dunzi, they do have kill threat in this lane.
Yes.
It really comes down to how they manage their CC because Cassiopeia with the Petrifying Gaze can stop those all-ins if not CC'd. You have the hostile takeover to stop those all-ins as well. And of course, most importantly, Miasma here for Alistar with that grounding effect to stop any potential hooks being thrown, to stop any potential dashes from Motel Samira here, Yanni. There is potential. It's just going to be a very fine line that Alistair and Dunzi are going to have to walk in this bot lane. And one small misstep can bring a lot of just unfortunate circumstances, to say the least.
Yeah, and with a team like Lotus's that looks like it is totally content to scale up and get strong, you do not want to put yourself behind early, but that is why we play the games, and we are waiting to play the games here as we are currently into the spectator delay, about halfway through to this point, but we are going to cut it to a short break, and when we return, we will give you all of the exciting action from Game 1 between Team Lotus and ISU GE Diamond. Excuse me. Alrighty, everybody. Thanks for bearing with us through this short delay. We are finally on to Summoner's Rift for Game 1 between Team Lotus and ISU G&E Diamond. Once again, I am Yanni. I am joined here by Goferino. And let me tell you something, hell, he's got a big hook. He knows how to use it. He's looking to catch out a member of Team Lotus.
Wait, Babs is not inside the bush.
Well,
The
Babs,
flash?
what are you
Okay.
doing? Flash for flash.
Flash for
All right.
flash.
Great start.
Yeah, I mean, you always take that because the Nautilus here for Hell does not have the Hex Flash, actually. I read the runes wrong, but now the
Oh, they're
flash,
looking for
the
more.
stun, the hook, the kill.
Oh, this is it. That's first blood. First blood going over to Tortwig. What beautiful CC you have. Riddy with the flash, bonking that Cassiopeia into the wall, giving the Vagar first blood. Your lane opponent doesn't have flash. You get first blood. What more could you want from a game?
Let's go. And Tortwig has 5 AP from the passive already.
Oh, he's fed. Game over. GG.
Game over. That's like when you kill a ward level 1. But it's like, Alistair kind of caught slipping a little there. Like, after you see that flash hook there, you should probably be going, okay, gonna take a bit of a ward here, gonna take a bit of a chill pill, make sure nothing happens, but things do happen, and we're talking about how this Cassiopeia and Renata Glassglane is gonna be walking a pretty damn fine line here, Yanni. Yes, you don't have to use your summoners. Yes, your lane opponent does only get that assist, but it's still an advantage in EXP, in gold, that will manifest on the first back that you'll have to deal with. And, let's just having to deal with more stuff that you didn't really have to deal with to begin with. Hex Flash does fail.
You're going to have to deal with a little bit of poke back and forth, but we see Babs here just falling to Riddy all of a sudden. And, well, this is not the start that Lotus envisioned.
To say the least. Yep. The hook does land here.
Uh-oh.
Great follow-up.
There's the Ignite down. Dunsey getting a little bit of shielding, and it is enough to protect them and keep them alive for now. But a flash down out of the Renata Glask. And let me tell you, ISU G&E Diamond, they must have heard that we ranked them pretty low in the power rankings because they have come out with a fire early on.
Let's see. They're able to keep this momentum going because a very strong 2-0 start. Mid lane's ahead, bot lane's ahead. Jungle is definitely ahead. Great way to start the game, especially as this super hard all-in comp, because ISU's comp, they're looking to fight, but they're looking to respond here.
Yep, and there's the tether onto Hell. The Q is missed. It's going to land on the minion, drops, force to flash. They are going to pick up the kill. Metellus is going to fall after Alistair flashes forward, but now Alistair trying to kite this one out.
The
Did get a
Triumph
little
heal.
bit of HP from the Triumph, and it's a double kill for drops. He gets the drops on him. 2 kills for him.
All right, that's one way to respond. And now, ball back in the court here for Lotus. They now have the lead. It's going to be focused all in their jungle, of course, with that double kill. They're going to be very thankful, though, for neutralizing the spot lane aggression. No summoners on either Hell or Motels. Makes your life a lot easier. A lot of trading in this top lane, but Garen does not mind that, especially with the Ignite. You just get the... Yeah.
Yeah, it's free real estate, baby. Tortwig trying to kite this one out, but can't. Drops, patiently waiting on the second part of that Q. Bab is firing an arrow from long distance downtown, and in the blink of an eye, this is what Lotus can do. This is why they are one of the strongest teams in the league. They've gotten 5 kills and no response from ISU.
Yeah, blink and you'll miss it, because that's 5 kills in the matter of, like, 2 minutes tops, I want to say here, Yanni. And Lotus, they're feeling pretty fine and dandy with this global lead. We saw the Ignite being a pretty damn key factor in that top lane scuffle. Bleed and Feed getting caught a little off guard by that, I'm guessing here, Yanni. And now you have this 2-0-2 Lee Sin. Bax picks up the Iron Spike Whip, working towards that Gorge Ringer here and feeling pretty fine and dandy. But it's not over yet, because it's still anybody's game here. Just right now it's favoring Lotus that little bit more.
Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about the set. He certainly bled, and he certainly fed, living up to the namesake here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, you have to know that going into a matchup, right? Like, my enemy top laner has Ignite. I need to play a little bit more careful than normal, because At this level of play, obviously we're not talking in, amateur or anything like that, but some of these teams know how to play in a team environment very well. Some of these players understand what they need to
Here.
do, and you can't give away anything. Really waiting in the wings, trying to make something happen as Alistair and Dunsey pushing up, but they're being very careful. They're leery. They don't want to give up their lead.
I mean, makes all the more sense. You've garnered this lead, you don't have to lose it because our first dragon, the Hex Tech, has already spawned in. You can look to convert this advantage into that dragon here with a super Fedly Sin. Gonna have that smite advantage. Gonna also just have the pure killing advantage against Riddy here, so not gonna be the easiest of times to deal with this Lee Sin. If you do happen to have a resonating strike hit you in the face, oh, had that hook landed from hell, that would have gone south really quick.
Yeah, the thing that you never want to have happen is you just go forward with a hook and then you're like, oh wait, we just lost the fight because their jungler was there before ours. But we do see Riddy trying to move forward and make a play, but Motelas gets engaged on by drops and is going to fall very quickly. Hell could be out of position here, but it looks like no further engagement can be made, and it is another kill going over to Lotus.
Let's see, this should be the dragon here. You have the manpower advantage in the spot lane. You have the health bars to take this. Yep, there's the Lee Sin flying onto that dragon. So Lotus exploring this gold lead further and further. That early deficit be damned. And 3 losing lanes does have the ignite backup once again. Combine that with the judgment. Bleed and Feed will just die here, no matter what. You cannot outplay that. It's 2 point and click abilities. 2 point and click abilities that do true damage. So,
Oh no, he's
Bleed
staying.
and Feed, what are you doing?
He's staying. 3 losing lane go. Oh my god.
What did I say? Okay, obviously they can't hear cast, but it's 2 point and click true damage abilities. You're not winning that.
You have to know. You have to know that's coming. And,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, you're up 2 kills to nothing early. You're feeling really good. And now it's a doomer mentality. You're down a little over 2K, and that's not a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. But at this point in the game, it's a canyon.
Sure, and it's going to be really felt here because it's not like a gold lead that's happened across the board, because 2K spread across the board this early on is like, okay, yeah, they might have an extra component on you. They'll have that extra longsword, they'll have that extra boots. It's an advantage, but it's whatever. No, it's been heavily manifesting into specific members here. It's Sin for drops, and this Garen for 3 losing lanes.
Now, interesting to note that Garen did burn the ignite on that kill, so we'll lose out on a little bit of kill pressure. But when you're up 2 kills to nothing and you already have your Iron Spike whip, you're not really losing out on that much kill pressure. Gritty, Bleed, and Feed in Hell have moved up to the top side of the map to take the Scuttle Crab, but it looks like Shelly will remain on the map. I think they probably had an opportunity there to maybe just go for it. It looks like they are going to move toward it. They heard me. They heard the prayers and the answers, and Riddy has started up on that Rift Herald.
It'll be a nice little pickup here because definitely have fallen a good bit behind by early game standards, like we mentioned, picking up this Herald while plates are still up on the board. Can be pretty damn juicy. You have this pop, you have this Nihilus in the area of the Garen pushing on up in the top lane, only has that flash for mobility.
Oh no. Flash is on top of him, misses the Q. So there's a flash burn, but Tellus is not losing anything. That being said, they're in a 3v1 in the bot lane. Meanwhile, in the top lane, the engagement onto 3 losing lane, getting them lower and lower. And now we're moving back to the bot lane. Drops will go 1-for-1 down there. Thankfully, we'll get a big shutdown up in the top lane.
Has to be careful,
losing
though.
leg, barely surviving. Babs trying to turn it around. Will find a kill onto Riddy. They're looking for Hell next. The flash away to try to get out of there, but Torchwig is going to flash under the turret and pick one back up. So lots of kills going on around the map. Overall, it is a 2-for-2. And, I mean, I suppose if you're ISU, you're okay with that. A lot of shutdowns going your way.
You get those double shutdowns. But tragically, Riddy is one of the people on ISU that does die. Riddy happens to have the Herald here because had it been Riddy that was one of the survivors here, they can drop that Herald in the top lane. Okay. Look for the handshake here. That'll help confirm the kill without this petrifying gaze. So you're really going to need to lock down this Samira. Does have the wave coming on up. Does have that Nalos coming on up. So going to be able to walk on out. Take a lot of damage without that
So much
miasma. This is
damage.
just open
Oh, wait a
season.
minute. Here's the turn on to Dunzi, but Motelis had gone berserk, and they will fall. Dunzi is going to land that handshake, and it's a double kill for Alistair. And just too much damage early on. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Tortwig doing what they can, but they don't have quite enough power behind them. Give the kill over to Babs. Credit drops for the assist. And it is a 4.5k gold lead at the 10-minute mark. This is getting disastrous, and they're looking for more. The engagement on to Riddy. The Dragon's Rage kick, and Babs is picking that one up as well, and all of a sudden, they got another shutdown on him.
Yep. It's kind of over at this point. 11 minutes in, 5k gold lead.
Ugh.
This is the explosive Lotus that we're used to, but didn't look like that at the start because they were kind of caught with their pants down. Great moves by ISU, but then Lotus with the very quick responses there, with the ganks coming out from drops, with the solo kills coming out from 3 losing lane. Now they're sitting pretty damn pretty, and I can just look to take over the game here and choke out the ISU team. It should be a kill in the top lane.
3 losing lane seems like they're very happy. They have no losing lane right now, including themselves. And, you know, like you said, it's just such a great turnaround from the early parts of the game. And we talked about how Lotus can get a little lackadaisical early on, as 3 losing lane is going to finish that one off. They can get lackadaisical, and they can drop some games due to them just, you know, it looks like not taking it seriously. But they went from whack Lotus to black Lotus this game. They've been excellent.
Yeah, and now very firmly in control of this game. Number 1,
Yeah.
8 gold in the
Oh,
objectives. ISU do still have that Rift Herald in their pocket. We have Riddy in the spot lane. The Hostile Takeover and Petrifying Gaze are both available here, though, if we see this all in. So that might be a little sussy, and there is a Lee Sin in the area. You do have to be quick, though, because this Herald is about to despawn. There's a lot of tension in the air. Death Charge.
Here we go. The engagement is on to Alistair, but he's going to turn it around and do so much damage. The item has been popped. Alistair on a rampage. They are going to get shielded. They are going to survive. They're turning the fight. And now Drops is going to come in, and Riddy is going to fall, and the Rift Herald not going to be used. Alistair just able to survive Motelis with the Immortal Shield Bow. It wasn't enough. And the one advantage that ISU had was the Rift Herald in their back pocket, and it just expired.
They're so damn close in that bot lane. However, the Dunzi revive on that bailout, keeping Alistair alive there, and really turning that fight around.
Oof. This is just a drubbing. This is a slogging at this point. And you know, the worst part of it all is the kills are on everybody except for Renata. Like, it's not just one guy that's running the game right now. It is the entirety of Lotus. This is a total team diff right now.
Yep.
Oh, holy moly, dude. It is 13 minutes into the game, and you're getting, Motelis is getting the late game 80 carry experience at 13 minutes, getting chunked out by a mage.
Okay, to be fair, it doesn't have to be late in the game for that 80 carry base stats moment. Either way, though, it's a literal 9,000 gold lead now. Okay, not quite, it's 8.8k, but that's damn close enough. We have this kill squad coming on in. No ignite, but there is a judgment, there is a dream. Just press the button. Not enough, actually, thanks to the steadfast presence, giving bonus resists to heal or stop some of the physical damage from earlier ticks. But
I mean, I don't think it's going to do all too much. Tortwig trying to find an engagement here. It's going to get pulled to the side. Now Hell is going for it. But this is a 3v2. I don't think you want that. Ultimate down from Renata. It's not going to do a whole lot.
There is a showstopper.
Bleeding Feet is in. He's going to get rooted. And the kicking Motelis out of there. The item is going to trigger. Sorry. Babs is going to go down. But Motelis is as well, as the Immortal Shield Bow was not enough to keep them alive there. So 1-for-1 overall. And I feel like if you're Lotus, you're very happy it only went 1-for-1 there. Because that teleport from behind could have been much more dangerous.
Yeah, But even then, you have to look at what ISU committed to that here, Yanni, because it was a teleport, there are multiple ultimates, and at the end of the day, you still get that 1-for-1, and you still pick up a turret on the bot side,
Oh,
so
man. It's a 10K gold lead at 15 minutes.
yeah, you know, got those objective bounties coming up. See if ISU are able to claim any. I don't know if it'll really save them this game, but hey, you get that 300 gold objective bounty, you'll at least be like, okay.
You feel a little bit better about yourself. I mean, they did get a shutdown on the Babs. That's nice. You know, what do ISU have to do to get themselves back into this game? If there is a path to victory, what is it?
I mean, the path to victory is literally just a DDoS attack.
All right, well let's not advocate for illegal activities here. As Hell is trying to find a way out. He's gonna hook himself into a wall. He's gonna get rooted up. He's got no chance. Babs picking up kill number 6. This Varus mid, it's got the most deaths on the team, but is performing to great effect, picking up the most kills on the team so far. Number 6 for him at the 16-minute mark.
A lot of that, X Flash being channeled. And yep, the handshake can beat the hand away.
Well, we have good news here. Riddy claimed the second Rift Herald. So hopefully we will see one Rift Herald be used this game.
It is a 600 gold bounty too.
Yeah, that's huge.
Okay.
Oh, Metellus could be in a lot of trouble. Riddy going to try to help their buddy out. Dashes through, manages to avoid getting knocked up from the kick. However, Drops is going to be able to just slide his way out of there through the Dragon Pit. And ISU, it just feels like their opportunities just slip through their fingers, but there's not much they can do. And now, all of a sudden, Metellus just gets blown up. Meanwhile, here in the mid lane,
Lane's just ignoring this.
Yeah, he's just busting down towers right now. Bleeding Feet trying to fight it back, but he's unable to chase. However, it looks like they're not done with this fight yet. Drops in the area. Riddy, Hell, and Torchwig trying to find a play here. It is a 5v4 currently, though, as Metellus is out of commission for a couple more seconds. Looks like Lotus is just going to control all of the vision here. No engagements to be had.
You don't even really have to engage at this point with how far ahead you are. You just throw out these Varus arrows, you throw out some Cassiopeia miasmas, maybe you throw in a resonating strike to confirm a kill. Who knows? But yeah, you're now sitting on Silk Point, pretty damn early on.
Yeah, on
22
pace.
minutes.
Yeah, 22 minutes and some change. Closer to 23 minutes, but at this point, you're up 11.7k. Who's really counting, right?
Yeah,
It's not like they need it.
It's kind of just like the, hey, you know what? Icing on the cake sort of deal. Like, the fact we see this force of nature coming out for 3 losing lane.
Rift Herald in the top lane! Rift Herald alert!
Okay, if they're able to push in this wave, they'll at least be able to chunk this turret a decent amount.
Looks like Babs and Drops are near the top side. It's just Bleeding Feet for now, but Riddy is chilling out in the tri-brush trying to make a play happen. 3 losing lane, walks right into Metellus and Hell. The exhaust is down, the stun is down. Are they going to be able to get the raid boss? Metellus is very low. Metellus will fall. 3 losing lane's going to flash out as well. And just like that, a 1v3, like you said, it's amazing he managed to survive, but now could be in a lot of trouble trying to bob and weave, is going to get rooted, and is going to finally fall. It's a huge shutdown going over to Torchwig. Meanwhile, in the top lane, the turret had been taken, Bleeding Feet very low, might survive, but Drops is in the area, is going to land the Q, kick the poppy into him, do it! Riddy sidestepping around. But my body is also telling me no, don't do it.
Yep.
That's what I say whenever I'm playing Lee Sin and I have like 200 HP and I land a Q. I just yell at the top of my line as long as my mind's telling me no. My body's also telling me no. And then I just take the Q and insta-die.
Oh, I see he's trying, but there's the handshake, there's the kick. There's going to flash out from Hell here.
Yeah, dodging the ultimate from the Varus. Metellus close enough to death number 9 though. And it just feels like they just died to a gentle breeze at this point in the game. A near flame horizon in the bot lane. And it looks like ISU was not prepared for this Cassiopeia pick at all.
Yep. definitely did help that there were some pretty clutch gains from drops there to
Yeah.
punish the overaggression in the bot lane after that level 3-ish point. Um, then after that, it was just drops kind of roaming all around the map. You get some roams and kills in the mid lane. Top lane's just solo winning, so you don't have to worry about that. Alistair should
Don't
just
do
get the
it.
kill here.
No, Metellus. Death number
Outplayed,
9.
you know, just 2 whole items up.
Yeah. Next victim is Riddy, trying to find engagement onto Alistar. The stun goes out, and I don't. Riddy is going to be able to flash out, getting his shield now. Tortwig in hot pursuit, but is going to get grounded and slowed down on the other side of the fight. 3 losing lane. Somebody help this
Leave.
Nautilus, please. It's a solo bolo, and Alistar
Torchwig's
is
not going to be able to catch
he's
up.
just getting kited out right now, and now here comes Garen, and Dunzy's here as well. This is just a, oh man, Tortwig, I'm so sorry. And they finally they save him. The ISU, they're like, let's save our mid laner here, save the KDAs. They have put out the surrender vote at 21 minutes into the game. It's 23 kills to 6. It was a 12k gold lead. Go for, this was just, I haven't seen a beating this bad in a long time. I hate to say it. I hate to put it that bluntly, but that was a drubbing.
Yeah, ISU, to their credit, I mean, they had that early 2-kill lead. It looked so great for them in those first few minutes, but then the gank started coming in, then the solo kills started coming in, and yep, 21-minute FF.
As Smash Mouth once said, the gangs start coming and they don't stop coming and they don't stop coming and they don't stop coming. All
They
right.
certainly don't.
Is there what can you take away from this game if you're ISU going into the next game?
I mean, keep up that early momentum. Top lane for sure. You see that ignite, Garen, you kind of gotta respect it.
Mhm.
Like you said, you see that ignite, it's like, okay, they're going for the lane power here. It's like, I'm going for the late game utility with this teleport. I can just sit back and let the teleport do the work later, but getting a little too frisky in that top lane, to say the least, when you're down ignite.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just straight disrespect at that point, right? And you have to respect the Ignite top lane. I mean, you can't just give kills away like that. And I mean, I understand that the rest of the map was not going the way that you wanted it to after the great early start. But it's just little things like that that add up over the course of a game, over the course of the season, tax your mental and everything, and then it just feels unplayable. I suppose the good news here is that Metellus did not get Flame Horizoned, and it is Metellus' third game with the team that they've played in the league so far. And I mean, this is really the first game that you were like, you know what, that was a pretty rough game out of the 80 carry. I did think that, after doing all the research, that they should stick with them. I wonder if they're going to make any changes going into game 2. This is a team that's played with 9 different players so far this season. We've only gone through 3 weeks. So, there are changes to be made for ISU if they want to going into game 2. I'm just not entirely sure if it's going to help.
Yeah, because you can definitely ban away that comfort pick Garen from 3 lanes in that top lane. But a lot of it is going to kind of come down to the team wide coordination. You were kind of opening yourself up to a lot of those ganks, kind of caught with your pants down, and drops able to just go to town across the map, it felt like. So maybe just keeping a better track of where that and jungler is for Lotus might be the boon you need to keep up any sort of early aggression and early momentum you get going here as this ISU squad.
Right. You are running into a buzzsaw known as Team Lotus, undefeated, one of the, 2 undefeated teams in the league right now. And they've only dropped 2 games all season. So, when you get advantages against them, you need to hang on to them. You need to be able to use these advantages, expand them further, and try to, execute your game plan. And it just seemed like after they got those 2 kills, they were feeling themselves and they got a little haphazard. And in the blink of an eye, they were behind. Maybe the mental was damaged, but if you give Lotus an inch, they will take a mile.
Well, that's exactly what we saw. And curious to see how ISU addresses that coming into this next game. Because they did have that spark, they just got to maintain it.
Well, ISU has a whole lot to think about as we head into the pro draft for the second game. We are going to take a short break to get everything situated, but do not go anywhere because when we return, we will be back for the Pro Draft for Game 2 between ISU GE Diamond and Lotus. We'll see if any changes are made. Welcome back in, everybody. We are here for the Pro Draft for Game 2 between Team Lotus and ISU GE Diamond. I'm still Yanni. I'm pretty sure Go Farino is still Go Farino. But,
Allegedly.
I can't speak for other people on that. But the mid laner is not who they were last game. It is not Tortwig. Yeah, it looks like ISU is going to go back to Scott. Scott has played pretty much the entire season with them.
Mhm. And we'll see if the shakeup here is enough. The Lee Sin that was so great last game here for drops going to be insta locked. The response from ISU going to be that Graves, possibly into the Lee Sin in the jungle, although we have been seeing much more of the Graves top lane this season, given how stupid Hullbreaker can be and people just abusing the kind of lethality semi-crit builds with that. We have the super tanky frontline DPS bruiser sort of deal, but it has nerfed, yada yada yada. Pair that with the Ezreal. Two hard hitting burst carries here that provide that sustained damage as well. ISU definitely going to be firing off in all cylinders.
Yeah, just to quickly go over the bans that you can see on your screen, it's Hecarim, Akali, Jinx for the side of ISU. On the other side, Lotus has gotten rid of Trundle, Blitzcrank, and Zillion. One more thing of note is that Tortwig is actually going to play top lane this game. Bleed and Feed is out. They are going to be riding the Pine. So the lineup for ISU looks to be Tortwig, Riddy, Scott, Motellus, and Hell. Same lineup on the side of Lotus. And really, why would you change anything? They got the Lee Sin, and it looks like they want to pick the Garen again. They did opt into the Karma this time.
And I'm wondering, okay, the Lucian is going to be the lock in here,
Ooh.
potentially going with the Karma in the bot lane. Can be a soul lane Karma. We do still occasionally see the soul lane Lucian once in a blue moon. It really depends on the player, depends on the team here. I don't know if that's Lotus's sort of thing, but Lucian Karma can be pretty potent bot lane with the shields,
Oh yeah.
letting that Lucian get those extra passive procs on off. It's going to give you that powerful all in to deal with this Ezreal, who's kind of known for being safe, but if you get in that Ezreal's face, you can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, and they buffed the Light Slinger passive this most recent patch. I play a lot of Lucian. I play a lot of Ezreal. You need to be really quick on the draw because once Lucian dashes toward you, he's going to get those auto attacks off. And you can burn your arcane shift to get away from everything else, yeah. But you're still going to take a whole lot of damage. That's going to be on a very long cooldown, and Lucian's going to be able to probably re-engage before you can shift away. But we'll have to see how that plays out. It looks like the Gnar was the final pick for ISU GE Diamond in the first half. Interesting to note that Tortwig, who played mid lane last game, is a top lane main. Gnar, one of their most played champions, so clearly picking for comfort here, but it is also a champion that performs very well into team compositions.
I got a little distracted. My dog's snoring a little loudly on the bed behind me. Actually, here,
He,
let me put my mic up to her so stream can hear her snore
let's hear.
loudly.
Let's
Suki,
hear.
say hi to stream.
I don't hear anything.
All right, she got really quiet once I put the mic up to her. But
Yeah.
like you said, a comfort pick
Stage
here.
fright. Stage fright. It's okay. It happens to the best of us.
It really does. But like you said, Tortwig gonna be piling their signature Gnar up in that top lane. It does mean though, it confirms it is the Graves jungle. You have a super heavy attack damage core already with this triple AD threat. You are going to be lacking on some pure engage. You do really want some magic damage coming out here, Yanni. So I'm expecting we're going to be seeing an engage support and then possibly a mid laner with, some good wave clear, some good utility, some good magic damage sort of burst sort of deal, all the good stuff. The food pyramid of team comps, as one would say.
Yeah, I think an Orianna would probably fit pretty well. It'll give you quite a bit of magic damage. It'll give you a little bit of wave clear, and it's going to perform very well with an R in a team fight. But I'm not sure if that is in the mid lane pool of Scod. Final bans. Looks like Lotus heard you. They got rid of that engage support. That Nautilus is gone. Ari also banned. Would have also been a pretty solid pick. ISU, they got rid of the Garen and the Aurelia. They were scarred from the last game. They said 3 losing lanes going to have to beat us with somebody else.
Yep. See what the pick is here, because the Gnar can technically do well into the Garen if you're able to kite around well enough. But of course, you are pretty squishy as that mini Gnar. As soon as that Garen gets on top of you, you can't hop away. You're probably going to die. Surfing going to be the lock in here. I'm inching towards it being in the mid lane here, because if you put that in the bot lane with the Ezreal, it is a very weird sort of lane. Ezreal historically does not pair well with enchanters, as he does not really need their peel or heals or shields as much, given his relative safety. Does not make the biggest use of their attack speed buffs and whatnot. But Malphite, I'm giving Lotus some very hardcore engage here, and Zera being covered might be the
Oh, there's a
victor,
lot
might
of
be the
picks here.
Silas.
Hey,
Kind of like
listen, Babs can pick whatever they want at this point. Silas,
yeah.
I think, would be pretty good. You get to steal Seraphine ult, steal Gnarls as well. You pair that with a Malphite, that's going to be very scary. Um, yeah, and as you mentioned, Seraphine Ezreal doesn't mix super well. I mean, I suppose the healing is going to be nice because Karma and Lucian is going to deal their fair amount of damage. It looks like Silas is the lock-in, so ISU will need to be careful who they match opposite of the Silas or who they elect to put at support. You don't really want to pick somebody with a super impactful ultimate, but at the same time, you got to pick for your team
Okay.
composition. And it looks like a Rumble is here. So I guess it's Rumble mid lane.
It,
Seems
mm,
seems like the only logical
it
explanation, right?
could be Rumble Jungle. It is still technically pickable.
So
Um,
then Graves mid at that
I
point?
think it would have a really rough time into the Lee Sin, though. However, the Graves into the Silas mid lane tends to function pretty well
Yeah.
because the Graves will just be able to Unga Bunga outshove the Silas. You tend to build that sustain. So when the Silas goes in on you, you can just trade on back. Of course, it could also be the Rumble mid, who has deceptively high kill power, but like you said, the Silas can really just steal that ulti away and go to town. That's
Yeah,
assuming we know who the solo laners are. It might be Malphite Rumble Myth for all we know.
sure. I mean, the problem is Silas is still going to be able to take some impactful ultimates here. It's Nara, it's Seraphine, it's Rumble. If you want to downtown Joe Brown somebody, you can take Ezreal and just shred through them. You're going to deal so much damage. Um, you know, Looking at this team composition, this Lotus composition looks a lot better than the last one, and they dominated on the last one.
It's a very clear cut composition. I mean, it's close range. You want to start off fights. You want to have explosive fights. You want to get in their face. You have the Karma to move your team on in. You have the unstoppable force from the small fight to just bop up this back line from ISU Diamond. So it's a pretty damn clear cut game plan that Lotus wants to go for. Of course, it can be a little bit of a one trick pony sort of deal composition wise. So if they're not able to get that going here, Yanni, if ISU is able to stomach the engage, able to just tow around, able to poke out the slowest composition before they go in, maybe it might just fall flat here.
Getting confirmation here, it's Gnar, Graves, Rumble, top jungle, mid, respectively. So we will see the Seraphine Ezreal bot lane. It doesn't mean we are going to see the Rumble in the mid lane. So Rumble v Silas, a matchup that you might be able to see in the top lane in solo queue. But in play like this, it's pretty abnormal. Um, you have any insight on this matchup at all?
Not the matchup specifically for Rumble versus Silas, but I know Rumble mid lane, when piloted by the right person, is deceptively powerful because you have a really insane kill threat. Depending on your setup, I know that I think it's either airy or electrocute. That's the shmoo. You just go on in if you want to get that kill threat. Drop the ulti. You can get that overheat range as well. Babs as a Silas is going to be right up in your face as that melee. So you get that flame spitter down. You get those empowered autos on down. You can shred through the Silas deceptively well. But it is a little bit on Scott to do that because if you're not able to cut through the Silas, then the Kingslayer heal comes in and that might just spell a bit of yikers.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be difficult. I mean, we could see an early Oblivion orb come out, but Rumble doesn't have any CC, doesn't really have a true escape. We saw what Drops did last game and how they were just able to be all over the map. That being said, Riddy on this Graves now, it's one of their favorite picks. I feel like it might be a little bit harder for Drops to start manufacturing kills because Riddy has to be respected on this Graves.
Mhm. Course, though, looking at the ISU composition, they don't exactly have the same methods to facilitate early aggression like last time.
Mhm.
They have a much more laid back kind of KD poke composition here. Because your only real front line here is like kind of Rumble and every once in a while a Gnar. Outside of that, you're just mostly looking to just kind of kite around this enemy team, I feel, and then maybe try and look for it. Of course, you don't really have to engage into this lowest composition. They will engage to you. Can be a little dicey.
You do have to remember that the Lotus composition is not a sieging composition. It's just the Lucian that has range, and really, it's not very long range. So, even if they get a small lead, it's going to be hard for Lotus to really push down these turrets and really knock down all the structures and get advantages that way. It looks like they're going to have to force their way through fighting to try to accrue a really large gold lead. Not going to be able to set up the sieges that much, especially with Gnar and Rumble and Seraphine. So it is going to be a strange game plan here for Lotus.
Yeah. Um, both these teams really are going to be having somewhat interesting game plans. Yes, Lotus is much more straightforward, but both these teams, it's going to be a little bit wonky how they are supposed to work together as a team to garner that 5 versus 5 lead. We'll just have to see how that shapes up in game, though, once we do get into that, though.
Yep, as you noted, we are currently in the spectator delay, so we are just going to wait for that to expire. And while we do, we are going to take a very short break. But do not fear, when we are back, we'll be on the rift for game 2 between Team Lotus and ISU GE Diamond. Welcome back in, everybody. We are on
22,
the rift here
40,
for.
44.
Oh my God! Stop. Oh man, I love.
Oh,
Just
okay.
one day, we should just have a little bit of the snippets of the conversations that we have pre-match, or while we're waiting for things to happen. We'll put it
I
on like
mean,
a blooper reel, like a Blue Otter League blooper reel or something like that.
yeah. I mean, honestly, the stuff that goes in production chats is always so funny behind the scenes because it's either like that one SpongeBob meme where everything's on fire with all the computers and they're running around screaming, or just sending like the stupidest stuff possible. Like, yo, look at this funny like Pokemon meme I saw today. It's literally just Meowth like saying "YOLO swag, my dude," and like throwing a 3-pointer. I don't know, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
I
making
like
up
sometimes you just hear sweet.
sweet, and that makes someone leave a server.
Yeah. Whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa. That was supposed to be internal. Anywho,
Uh,
junglers starting same buffs, opposite sides of the map here. You know, does mean that. I mean, they're going to be ships passing in the night, most likely. Ready to the top lane, drops to the bot lane. Alistair and Dunsey, they're ready to catch out somebody here. And Hell taking a lot of damage early on. Alistair pumping them full of damage. Mantra Q landing as well. But Matella's trying to fight back with all their worth. But they just take so much as well. It's a massacre down here. More poke coming out. And Dunsey actually took the bad end of that trade.
So the big thing to look out after this, because all summoners are still up, who hits level 2 first in the spot lane? Because Hell and Metalis will have the sustain advantage thanks to that Seraphine W heal coming on through. We already see these health bars coming up pretty damn high again. Level 2 should be achieved here first by the ISU bot lane. If they're able to keep this going, let those heals start coming in and take away. Oh, it's actually the
Yeah, beat
the
drop.
drop the beat.
Yeah,
I
just beat
can't
drop, just beat drop.
beat drop. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Freestyle.
Yo,
No, I can't
yo.
freestyle.
You can't? I can't either, don't worry.
Freestyling is like abnormally hard. Oh my lord.
Oh,
This
what's
gank
that?
goes hard though.
Yeah, this gang does go hard. Metellus has nowhere to go. I don't know if they didn't pack Arcane Shift or if they just already used it, but
They're
it's
so
2
close.
kills in the bot lane. Drop's able to get the kill onto Hell and save the 80 carry. Alistair thanking his lucky stars that Drops happens to be one of the best junglers in the league. But now Tortwig here in the top lane looking to find a kill. 3 losing lane flashing forward. It's flash
Minions.
for flash, but the minions will do enough. However, Riddy will be able to pick this one up easily. It is a 1-for-1 overall. Big solo kill going over to 3 losing lane.
Minions able to finish off that mini Gnar, and just like that, Lotus have taken over
Another
into this
commanding
game.
lead.
I'll say a foot. You know, that's a standard ruler, and we'll see if they're able to get that same momentum they had last game going.
Yeah, I mean, they must be feeling it tonight right now. They've already cracked open an early lead. I mean, you saw what happened when they were behind. They got smacked in the mouth and responded in kind. I wonder if, again, I hate to continue to harp on it, but this is a team that we have seen them be lackadaisical in their preparation, in their gameplay at times. And, when you get an early lead, it is easy to
Vitals.
just kind of like, do your thing and get a little overeager. And we do see Dunsey roaming to the top lane here, looking to get this wave shoved in for the top laner, prevent a freeze from going down. The heads up play out of Lotus.
Definitely quite the heads up play. You don't really have to worry about bot lane because there is still a flash. There is still that relentless pursuit here for Alistair. So definitely got to be pretty safe against the Ezreal Seraphine lane. Okay, I thought there might be a little bit of scuffle shaping up the mid lane. That is not the case. And quite a bot lane differential in these backs because one of these laners still sitting on just Tear the Goddess, not really any combative power, and the other has that fully completed
Oh,
mm,
Noon Quiver.
yeah, Noon Quiver.
I
That's what
got
it
you.
is. I was
I
like,
got you.
it's like something archery, which is
Yeah.
really weird because that was like one of the first item names I memorized after the item reward. That aside, though, gonna give a lot of power to this Lucian.
Yeah, I mean that's why you start longsword, right? You go to accelerate your build. The Dorn start that was popular for so many years in League of Legends. Now everybody realizing over the last couple of seasons, you don't necessarily need to do it, and you get your new quiver quicker, and it just gives you so much lane power. And you can see right here they're trying to impose their will. Hell having to flash away. No summoners on the Seraphine as Drops paying plenty of attention to this bot lane.
And okay, now that there's a bit of a lull moment, I can go on a bit of a tirade about why we see longsword start
Do it.
nowadays on
Tell
AD
me.
carries, because after the item rework, when Doran's Blade was changed from 3% lifesteal to 2% Omniv. Okay, 2.5% Omnivamp. AD carries did not really benefit from that because they're not really known for using their abilities. Yes, some were like, okay, sure, whatever, but people kind of found out you kind of get just as much sustain, more or less, if you go that long sword with either the refillable or 3 pots. 3 pots tends to be more preferred because it gives you that much more immediate sustain, but if you are more confident, you can go for the refillable. It gives you that extra value in the long run. Okay. So, Doran's Blade, is not really seen anymore in AD
Kind of
carries. Like,
stinky.
it's kind of a tragedy.
Goran's Blade kind of stinky. Babs and Scott duking it out in the mid lane. Scott does not have an ultimate available, but Riddy has joined the party.
Cooler.
Trying to get out of there is Babs. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Tortwig and 3 losing lane going at it. However, 3 losing lane brought the item that says I can call my jungler from anywhere on the map. And they will be able to pick up another kill. This one is going to go over to Drops. Give 3 losing lane credit for the assist. And then are already 0-2, and things still not looking good for ISU G&E Diamond. They have the scaling, they just need to stop dying.
Yep. Still only about, it's under a 1.5k gold lead, so it's not out of control. It's definitely not in your favor, and you do want to stop that bleeding, but it's not the end of the world. You can pull through. You do have some big ultimates coming through here. Once your bot lane does get that ultimate combo with that encore as well as the True Shot Barrage, you can look to maybe chunk someone to death. What else? We'll see.
Ezreal picking up a Sheen. There's gonna be a little bit more combat potency in the spot lane. Overall, though, taking a look at the game state, CS differences are not that large right now. It looks like it here in the bot lane, but you know, they did force it back onto Metellus and Hell, and it's gonna be a wave lost. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, it's about an 8-ish CS lead for Babs. Jungle Riddy is, running things in there. Just so excellent on this Graves, but Drops is, some more kill participation. So really, it does all even out. In the end, it equals about a 1k gold lead, as we mentioned a couple moments ago. But again, still early.
Yeah, like, technically, okay, it's a little over 1k gold lead when you factor in the extra Infernal Dragon stats, yada yada yada. But for all intents and purposes, this game more or less even-ish. There's the all-in.
Flash. The root is going to go down. They're looking to kill Scott here. Scott will fall. We see 2 ultimates here. That is a kick from Drops. Riddy very low. True Shot Barrage coming through, not landing on anybody. And that is a 1-for-0 here in the mid lane. Drops and Dunzy, they're just roaming around. It's the second jungler meta, and Dunzy pulls it off well.
That's the power of Drops on this Lee Sin. Just dictating the pace of these lanes, more or less, it feels like, and showing up, hey, howdy ho, how's it going? And there's another kill. Been pretty damn well paid for their time. See if they're able to keep up this momentum, because about 30 seconds from now, last game.
No.
Oh, this is a kill.
Yep, the exhaust goes down, but it doesn't matter. Drops gets kill number 4.
Should be an ulti into a kill here.
Oh, whoa, great flash by Tortwig. Frame perfect, able to get out of there alive. Metellus looking to engage on Alistar. Here comes the culling. Here comes the culling. And that is going to be a kill for this AD carry. 2-0-1. The heal burnt by the Ezreal. And, I mean, now we're starting to get in disaster talk here.
I'm scratching my head over that one. This should be a kill. Great up song, great abduct. Look for the resonating strike. That should be the confirmation they need.
A 5th kill for Drops. And, I mean, listen, I mean, all right. I feel for Riddy here. My heart hurts for this guy. Because we're 1-0. They're farming up. They're trying to get strong. They haven't had too many opportunities to gank. And, yeah, you're kind of going... That's kind of going to happen when you play Graves. When you take a look at the rest of the lanes, there's no hard CC other than, Gnar going into his Mega Form, or Seraphine hitting the double beat drop or the ultimate. there's not too much he can do. And, later on into the game, the later laning phase, there is so much Rudy can do, but the rest of the team just continues to get so far behind that there's not much that Rudy can do. This is one of the better junglers in the league, and you need to play more patient in order to allow them to make their impact known on games. I'm sorry. I just had a rant. This guy's constantly putting up good score lines. And there's scenarios like this where everybody else on the map is 0-2.
Yep. It's 8-1 in kills. It's not as bad as last game. It is still within the ballpark, still within shouting distance here, but we know what ISU can do. Or, sorry, we know what Lotus can do when they get that gold lead. Good double root, but is it enough? I don't think so.
Well, is going to be able to flash out of there. Here comes the encore, but the root is down onto Metellus. Alistair is going to pick up kill number 3. Hell can do nothing but watch their AD carry get sent there. And there's just not much that you can do. Rift Herald going down, Hell very low. Here comes the culling. Going to pick up another one there in the top lane. Torchwood 1-on-1 against 3 losing lane. 3 losing lane looking like they're going to lose this fight. The Q has been missed and 3
turn
losing
it with the ulti.
Actually able to get out of there. And, just Tortwig unable to finish a potential solo kill there. And things just going from bad to worse. After all this time in the bot lane, the Rift Herald charge going down, Babs is able to make things happen in the mid lane, and now they're engaged onto Riddy. That said, Metellus coming over the wall. Dunsey here to help out. The Graves ultimate is had by the Silas, looking to find a kill on a Metellus. The
finish this kill?
Drops is here as well. Exhaust down on the
jungle.
Babs is going to pick this one up. Babs still holding on to that ultimate, will fire it away, unable to pick up a kill. But it has just been all Lotus.
Yep. Lotus just kind of living in ISU's walls right now. Yep. It's gone from bad to worse to worsier. Whatever word you want to make up for it.
Yeah. Listen, on this day, ISU G&E Diamond received a grim reminder. And the walls have been busted down. There's not too much you can say.
It's a bait.
Yeah, it is a bait. Drops whiffing on that Q. So Scott is going to be able to get credit here, but Drops is going to be able to find another kill. Riddy here in the top side, looking to finally make something happen.
This is the ulti.
Missed by the Gnar. The knock up onto Tortwig.
Dunsey is out.
Lane, unable to kite it out. Tortwig getting that kill, assist to Riddy, but as you said, Dunsey will manage to escape. First turret goes down in the mid lane, and it wasn't even the lane where the Rift Herald was dropped. Look at all the damage that Alistair does. He has that Kraken Slayer getting another culling kill. 5 for the AD carry, 6 for the jungler, and it is a 6k gold lead approaching the 14-minute mark. We did expect this. This is the number 2 team in the league. People will say they're number 2. Some might say they're number 1. Some people, like you, may even put them at number 3. But regardless of where they are, this team has shown that they are one of the best teams in the league. And this is a team that we could probably expect to see in the finals later this season.
Is expected to make playoffs at the very least. Clutch hijack on that Rumble ulti, the equalizer. Right as there might have been a bit of aggression in that mid lane. Not going to shape up. Top lane, this should just be the ulti.
Yep, Everfrost drew into the ultimate.
Great
There's a flash from Babs. Hell, about half HP, trying to bob and weave. But oh my god, the Kingslayer just does so much damage at this point. However, the red carpet in return, Babs trying to kite it out. The shield is on, the Kingslayer is there, but it is not enough. That kill is going to go over to Riddy. In the top lane,
does have the Gnar.
3 losing lane, but it doesn't matter because the rest of the team is here. Alistair just has to go one more auto attack onto Tortwig. No more Alcove Gaming for you. And it looks like this top turret's going to fall as well. And, I mean, it's just everything's crumbling.
Yeah, you are getting some kills here and there, thankfully. 2 kills going to your Graves. That is farming up a storm.
Is it gonna
that
matter?
At least feels nice.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Hell's getting the deluxe experience of you're 0-4 as this Enchanter support. You exhaust, might be able to get the return kill here.
It does look like it. Riddy will be able to close out on that kill. Drops into the Q onto Riddy, but is a level down.
Is procking.
I'm not sure what he's doing. He's going to try to dash over to the wall, but he is going to fall. He stopped moving for a second there. It's a big shutdown going over to Riddy. You haven't been able to solo carry games of League since like Season 4, Season 5. But you know what? Riddy is going to damn well try 4-0-1, 130 CS out of the jungle. The lone shining star trying desperately to drag his team's lifeless corpse over the finish line.
Yeah. While that was all happening, Mattel's died. I think.
Well, they are 0-6-0.
So, I did see a bit of gray screen game.
How much do you know about basketball terminology?
Slam dunk, free throw, and
Have
Kobe.
you ever heard of the cardio game?
No.
So the cardio game is usually when a player plays 15 to 20 minutes and gets no points, no assists, no steals, no rebounds, no fouls, no nothing. No stats recorded, right? They just went out there and they ran around for 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
This is exactly what Metellus is doing right now. 0 kills, 0 assists. You have some CS, I guess. All right. Oh, misses the Q.
Let's out on that.
But Drops is going to dash forward. Flash by Metellus. The heal is out. The kick, the Q, the auto attacks, the kill. Teleport Tortwig trying to find a kill onto Drops as Riddy has come to the area, but Drops is going to be able to just get that blast plant out of there. Tortwig unable to chase it anymore. It's a 1-for-0, a 7th death onto Metellus. And after last week, and I believe the week before that, I can't quite remember. Metellus played a couple of games and has a solid enough showing, but today it's been so bad.
That's a lot for just a support, though.
Yeah. Here comes another ultimate down. Oh, okay. We're coming from the side. 3 losing.
Great Gnar ulti. What can you do off this?
God is going to fall. And like you said, it is a great Gnar ultimate. Riddy might have a chance to make something happen here. Turning chicken-ish into chicken salad. They're going to be able to find another kill. Are they going to be able to take down this Lucian? The culling is out. Tortwig into mini Gnar form. Metellus with the ultimate. It splits the uprights. Trying to shift forward. Alistair very low. One more auto attack should do it. But they're going to find Tortwig anyway. There's going to be an assist to Metellus. A second kill over to Tortwig, and the Dragon will go over to the side of ISU G&E Diamond. They finally have a pulse, and they started to pull the gold a little bit more toward them.
At the start of it, it did look a little sussy there, because they used a lot of their big cooldowns onto only Xdunzi as the support. In the end, though, it does work out. You have this super fed Graves, able to just go to town, able to keep autoing there. You don't have to worry about Alistair being there the entire time. You're able to now pick up the Dragon, pick up those big shutdowns, pick up double objective bounties here. And now this game is back within shouting distance. Yes, you are still on the back foot here. You don't have those objective bounties to give you that huge boost anymore, but you got what you wanted. You delayed the Dragon Soul. You got some nice shutdowns. You now have the 603 Graves you can rally around, and ISU. There's a hope and a prayer.
Yeah, the ISU is out of the ICU, off of life support in this game, but for how long? Metellus can scale very well, as Ezreal does. Scott on this Rumble, gonna have some scaling to them as well, and they do have the Wombo combo potential with the Seraphine ultimate and the Gnar ultimate, so there are ways to try to get back into it. It's just going to be insanely difficult. They need to be very disciplined for the rest of this game.
They're going to have to do a lot of spacing game here. Let this bot lane really catch up, because it is going to take quite a damn long time. They can at the very least look for this Ezreal and Seraphine to pick up some assists, pick up some CS, and be like, okay, we're feeling a little bit better about this. I don't know about showing a bot lane here as that Baron does spawn. There's a lot of members there, so it might just be the turnaround, and it's going to be hard to crack through this Malphite who has all this armor already. Red buff be damned. There's the ulti.
Oh, yep, that's going to be a kill in the mid lane. They found Scott. The Rift Herald has been dropped as well. This could be disastrous. Mid turret going down, and everybody committed to the bot lane.
Double charge.
Unable to pick up the Malphite anyway. As you said, second charge coming through. Looks like the Lotus is going to bust this turret down as well. They're going to pick up 2 in the mid lane. Leave the inhibitor alone for now. Good value out of second Herald.
The best value you can get out of second Herald that you can get, aside from the ones that survive Nexus explosion. But usually you're kind of guaranteed to get that sort of value anyways. So, and now we're kind of back at where we were before with this 5k gold lead. It's not as impactful now since more time has progressed. It is a much more even footing, but it's still going to be a pretty sizable, pretty noticeable damn gold lead here. When we're talking about Baron being on the table, when we're talking about this next dragon coming up in 2 minutes here, Yanni, it's going to still be a rough one.
Still a lot of work that ISU needs to do, and it's mostly allowing Motelis to scale into the game. Just funnel all your farm into the Ezreal, see what they can do. Still without a mythic. It's pretty common, Ezreal isn't going first item mythic nowadays. But you would like to get your AD carry on a mythic before you really start fighting again. And we can see from the side, 3 losing lane, trying to engage on to this Ezreal. It's the shift flash away, and burning Ezreal's flash, making him a little bit less safe. It's a nice attempt at a play there. Nothing else could be done, but you burn a flash, you're pretty happy with it.
And you don't have to worry about that unstoppable force here if you're ISU, so...
True.
You are at least feeling a little bit fine about that. The unstoppable force, though, should be back up for this next dragon that does spawn. You only got about 40 seconds, I want to say, before that's back up. A little bit of breathing room. Maybe you'll be able to have this Ezreal finally finish this Manamune here on this next back. Still off by about 350-ish gold, though, so awkward timing, to say the least.
Yeah, it'll be a nice power spike. And then Ezreal will finally become a champion just in time for the dragon fight. And, maybe, you make a good play here. You have good vision control there. Good setup here. You can, make a play. Maybe if you get 2 kills and, you lose the dragon, but you don't lose any of your teammates, you'll take that. That's, pretty good. That's really the most that you could hope for at this point, barring an absolute collapse out of Lotus.
They were able to win the last dragon fight, so it can happen again. Tortwig will have bar available for this, but there seems to be cavalry coming in. Tortwig able to suss that one on out. Will you be able to stack up that Snar bar fast enough? Your jungler is showing topside, though. It's kind of saying, we're stacking this dragon. We know you're not going to get that super early soul. And we're just going to try and wait it out for the next one, hopefully.
Seems fair enough to me. Top lane turret going down. Riddy and Skod splitting some gold there. And when you can get more gold onto your Graves, that's super fed right now. Sure, why not? Dragon taken by drops. It is putting Lotus on soul point now. And that is a dangerous game that ISU G&E Diamond is playing. Hextech Drake is not a bad soul to have.
Of course.
I don't think any of those souls are that bad, but
Oh. It can't just be one of those circumstances where it's like, yeah, we know we're on the back foot here. Let's try and collect some gold across the map. Let's keep it even. Let's keep it close. And then next time this whole song and dance happens, we can attempt it from a much better position, is what I'm guessing the call is here from ISU. Yeah, just farming.
Yeah, gotta give them a lot of credit. The gold lead has not gotten that out of control. It is hovering around 4K right now. It was at about 6 earlier, I believe.
Yeah, before that one dragon fight.
Yeah. So you know what? If you can keep it like this and keep the game relatively close and play relatively mistake-free, there will be an opportunity. It's not like last game. There is a path for ISU.
Yeah, because keep in mind, the game ended like about 3 minutes ago, or 4 minutes ago, actually, last time, so...
Yeah, it was bad. We have to give credit to ISU, the fight that they're showing in this game. They're not rolling over and dying. It was such a rough early start. They're playing it out strong. They're playing smart, honestly, to try to keep this game close. And that's a hallmark of a team that, you can build upon that. You
Yeah.
know, it remains to be seen if they'll be able to win, but you know, just like this fight in the bot lane, it remains to be seen if any of them are going to win. It's just a big wet noodle fight down there.
More or less, yeah. This Malphite here for 3 losing. With the Frozen Heart, the Tabaz, Thorn Mail, or sorry, the mini Thorn Mail, the Thorn Mailet, or
Thorn
Thorn
jacket,
Mailing. I
bramble
don't know. It's
vest,
the Bramble Vest, yeah. And
thorn
the
jacket.
Iceborne,
I guess maybe like thorn sweater vest.
yeah. Either way, 384 armor for this
Ugh.
Malphite, just Malphite things.
Discus then. And really the only one who can deal any damage is going to be Hell, who's going to be tickling them because they're not full damage. And it's Scott. Scott is the only one that is going to be able to do any significant damage with this Malphite. Not even your super fed Graves is going to be able to do much, even with a Black Cleaver.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a tough cookie to crack. That's for sure. But you do at least have Armor Pen with this Divine Sunder, with the fact that Ezreal does at least do a decent amount of hybrid damage. You know, you're at least cracking away at a little bit of magic damage here, even if you are, you know, very physically based, with just your main DPS being this Graves right now. But hey, minute 45 till the next dragon. We see the pings in chat. We know both these teams gonna kind of be gunning for that one, because last time we saw this song and dance, Yanni, it was a bit of a forfeit, but it was a forfeit to keep on living, to gather some gold, and maybe this next time rally around. But you're gonna have to make that call here, because you can't give up a soul for free.
Yeah, they have to hit the go button. And, you know, it's going to be weird to snap into that mindset because this game has slowed to a snail's pace, a literal crawl, waiting for the objectives to come up. So, you know, these teams are going to have to quickly go from this, you know, farming snooze fest into, hey, it's going to be the last 30 seconds of action. And are you going to win or are you going to lose?
Could be a big shutdown.
Yes, it could be. The ultimate went down onto Alistair. Here comes the calling. Flash forward from Torchwig. He's very low. Is going to be able to get away. Flash into Proto Belt. And they are going to be able to find the kill onto Alistair just before
Behind
the
enemy
dragon
lines, though.
drops very low. Will have to walk out of there. Dunzy showing up. So Torchwig will have to back. But that was a huge kill there for ISU Diamonds. You know, the death timer, they're about the same when it comes to the AD carry coming up and the Drake. This could be the opportunity for ISU to make something happen.
That's a big shutdown to pick up right as this dragon is spawning. It is a
was
5
not
versus
able to
1
extend
map
the
in your
goal.
favor, but you did use some pretty damn huge ultimates to do that.
That could
There's
be
still
bad.
some Fed members that you got to worry about, so...
Looks like the engagement on the side to Tortwig. Babs has an opportunity to ult here, but isn't going to take it. Looks like the team was there for it, but, you know, missing that Lucian, a lot of your damage seems fine. As it looks like ISU, they're heading toward the Drake. The pings are down.
On the board.
But Tellus is starting to hit it. Lucian has shown up. Hextech Gates very strong. Here comes the Ezreal, looking to get a little bit of damage from behind the three loose lane. Dragon was taken by Riddy. There's the ultimate. It's a two-man ultimate. Follow it up with
the Gnar ulti into the back line
from the Seraphine. Gnar ultimate on that back line. They're trying to kite this one out. Alistair, too much shielding, too much damage. Metellus has to go over the wall. Dunzy looking to follow that one up. It's a double kill.
All up to Riddy and Motels here.
Trying to survive. Look at all the healing out of this Graves, but he's not able to make the 2-on-1 happen. Kills going around everywhere. Give 3 kills over to the Lee Sin, 2 kills over to the Graves. The last 2 standing, Babs and Drops. It is an ace for Lotus, but they do not secure the dragon.
Yeah, and we're kind of just back to where we were right before this absolute hectic mess of a fight here. Because everything was all over the place. A beautiful Hextech portal flank from 3 losing lane to try and get into the back line. There was only managed to knock up 2 members, though, despite that flank, due to some quick reflexes. And Torchwig really helping carry that fight here for ISU with that massive Gnar ulti into CC chain onto the backline of Lotus here. Honestly, at this point, Yanni, like, it's kind of anyone's game.
Well, that was the picture-perfect engage out of Tortwig right there, or the picture-perfect counter engage. you would call it. Alistair wasn't there earlier, so it was a little awkward. Lotus had to pull the trigger a little bit before they really wanted to, it appeared. So I'm not so sure if we're gonna see a similar fight like that the next time around. But, credit to that point, ISU, they got the dragon, and while they're down a little bit more gold than they were before, I mean, you just have more time to scale, more time for this Ezreal to try to get some more items. Looks like they're building into their last Whisper item.
Because despite the fact that this Ezra was put so far behind, and yes, they are still so far behind, well, that should just be a arcane shift.
Not quite sure. Oh my god, drops does so much damage. Ultimate out, and here comes some teleports. Hell on the side isn't a one-on-one with
That's one
Alistair.
crit.
Jeez. Alistair picking that one up. It's a 2 for 0, and it looks like Lotus, they might have their sights set on the Baron here.
Yep, there's no equalizer to deal with. The Narbar is not stacked up. It's 5 versus 3. You still have the unstoppable force. You still have the stolen equalizer. You still have the cuddling. The ball's in your court.
Reddy gives it a shot, unable to make it happen. The jungler for ISU G&E Diamond, 8-1-4, level 16. And it's just not enough. Alistair cancels Scott's recall now, and Scott is going to fall for that heads-up play out of the Lucian. And that's just another pick. And these timers are staggered. It was a 5v3, now it's a 5v4 again after the 2 respawns and the siege beginning.
Oh, just hit the big member.
See you later. Sent straight to hell is that Seraphine. Babs on the side taking a whole lot of damage, trying to survive. 3 losing lanes, starting to get pretty low. And it doesn't look like Lotus can continue this, but Drops is going to go in for it. Landed the kick onto Tortwig to get him away. Babs low. Everybody low. And it looks like it's time to get out. Metellus trying to stop the recalls here. Tortwig
is available.
He does have the Gnar. But will have to get away. And the Hextech Gates will bring the rest of Team Lotus to safety for a reset.
Little zoop on out of that one.
The gold lead is not massive.
A definitive gold lead once again. 9k. Not able to crack any inhibitors here, just able to crack the base, but with this huge advantage you've garnered. You can't look to just secure the soul here. This could be a huge pick if you get Riddy.
Uh-oh, Riddy is in a little bit of trouble, but barely takes any damage due to that Death Stance. Trying to kite this one out, but there's nobody around. And the jungler for ISU G&E Diamond has been picked off 35 seconds before the soul. Scott very low. Alistair getting the job done, but give a shutdown to Metellus. From the side, arcane shift. No, it's a flash. Metellus survives.
Q does land, though.
2-man ultimate does land, but 3 losing lane. He's just running forward, drops, trying to get the kill onto this Ezreal. He's going to heal. He's going to shift away, but he's going to eat a Q, and drops his legendary. 3 losing lane has found the Seraphine, and the Lone Ranger is Scod for 20 more seconds, trying to do what they can to kill this Malphite. They're the only one who can, but Malphite is gone golden. The red carpet is laid out, but it whiffs. However, 2 inhibitors down, and Lotus, safe for Alistair, sieging, trying to finish this game. The first Nexus turret will fall. The second one will fall. Scott can do nothing but dance around as he watches everything he once loved fall apart, and will lose his life watching the Nexus fall just before their eyes close. And it is a strong 2-0 for Team Lotus.
Yep. Much closer game number 2 here, but it did feel like Lotus once again was in the driver's seat throughout the entirety of that game. Unlike the first game where definitely was a bit of a driver's seat situation for ISU in the early stages, the first few minutes. Yes, even though ISU did make some pretty nice plays, they narrowed the gold lead quite a bit. They never got the gold lead themselves. They're never able to take like a definitive dub. They're just able to kind of stall out the game. And credit to ISU where credit is due, but in the end, it is a 2-0 for ISU, and they are now 4-0.
Yeah, one of the more impressive teams in the league, one of the 2 only undefeated teams left. Not sure if GE, I'm sorry, not GE Diamond, CB Diamond. Team name's a little confusing. Not sure if they are still undefeated, but they haven't even dropped a game this season. Lotus is going to have to tighten the ship if they want to really contend with them, as Lotus has dropped 2 games this season. But it was nice to see a refreshing change out of Lotus. They're playing against an opponent that, going to be honest, they were advantaged against. It seems like there's a clear difference between these two teams. And they didn't drop a game. They didn't get lackadaisical. I think that in game 2, it was more so the fight out of ISU rather than Lotus taking their foot off the gas pedal.
Yep, and it was a good fight. There are still another 3 weeks of the regular season before the playoffs do happen. So ISU still in the runnings technically. They can make those playoffs, but I mean
Fall to
Lotus.
1-3.
Oh, right. That's the record now.
We got 7 weeks, right? So
You
they
kind
could
of got to win all the next
they
ones.
have to win out. Let's take a look at their schedule. Let's see. Let's take a look.
Yeah, I do not have the schedule doc open right now, so I
Alright.
cannot beat
I
that.
don't either, but I'm pulling it up.
Oh yeah,
Oh, I
because I
pulled up
know
the
I
wrong
know it's
one.
pinned. You can click on it, but
Yeah.
that will
Pulled up
suck.
the wrong one, of course, but you know what? That's okay. Let's see. So ISU GE Diamond, they lost they play against CB Diamonds next week.
Mm, okay.
Yeah, so it's actually crazy. They're this next 3 game stretch is against some of the best teams in the league. CB Diamond, MSU, Blage, and VBU Infusion. So, I have Infusion still ranked pretty highly, contrary to what their 1-2 record indicates. I think that they had probably the hardest schedule for the first 3 weeks. They played against We Love Solbert, which they took a victory against, but then they lost to Lotus and CB Diamond. So this is not, in my opinion, a true 1-2 team.
Yeah.
So, factoring that in, you just played against Lotus, who's number 2 in the power rankings. You just played against CB Diamond, or you're going to play against CB Diamond next week, who is either going to be number 1 or number 2 in the power rankings, depending on what happens. MSU is a team that they've got really strong team play. And VBU is, I mean, I'm personally high on them. I think they're probably the number 3 team in the league. They haven't had a chance to show it yet. So, that week 7 matchup could be important, but I mean, in order to come back and try to make playoffs at this point, you have to beat CB Diamond, which nobody's been able to do yet.
Yeah. It's a rough road to say the least, but there at least is a road here for ISU to go on forward. On the flip side, though, Lotus been pretty damn well pretty at this 4-0 point. Unless they super hard blunder the next few weeks, they should be going into the playoffs here.
Realistically, I think they might only need to win one more match. They're going to play against We Love Solbert next week, and then the week after Acclivity, which seems like that is almost guaranteed where they're going to lock their 5th win.
Yeah.
And then hopefully they're going to beat Solbert, and hopefully CB Diamond will remain undefeated. So that way we can get the week 7 matchup of undefeated Lotus versus undefeated CB Diamond. But, obviously there are games that still need to be played. The teams need to actually show up to the Rift and stuff like that. I would be quite surprised if Lotus was not going to get their 5th win by that Acclivity week. I think they got a good shot at getting it next week.
Yeah. Or so. I think that's going to wrap it up for us here between me, you, and Pop Tart, Yanni.
Yep.
There is some action happening on the main channel, though.
Thank you for sticking with us here. But yeah, as Gopher said, CB Diamond is playing against Gothboy Click, which some people are pretty high on Gothboy Click. But obviously CB Diamond, we know the best team in the league coming into this week. Lotus trying to give them a run for their money. We're going to see how that matchup is going to shape out. But yes, that is it for us. So for myself, Gopher, Pop Tart, and the rest of the Blue Otter League family, thank you so much for joining us here on Blue Otter League 2 for the action between ISU GE Diamond and Team Lotus. And we will see you on the main Blue Otter League channel for CB Diamond versus Gothboy Click. Have a great night.